He was the grandson of the legendary Genghis Khan, a ruler who bridged the gap between the nomadic steppe and the sophisticated civilization of China. He was the founder of a dynasty and the master of an empire that stretched across continents. This is the incredible story of Kublai Khan, a man whose ambition reshaped the world. Join us as we journey through the timeline of one of history's most powerful and fascinating figures. Let's turn the clock back to 1215. In the heart of the expanding Mongol Empire, a boy named Kublai was born. He was the fourth son of Tolui and the grandson of the great Genghis Khan. Growing up, Kublai wasn't just another Mongol prince. He was immersed in a world of conquest and strategy, but he also developed a deep fascination for cultures beyond his own, especially the settled civilizations to the south. His mother, Sorghaghtani Beki, a Nestorian Christian, was a brilliant and politically savvy woman who ensured her sons, including Kublai, received a diverse education. This unique upbringing, blending Mongol martial tradition with an appreciation for Chinese culture, would shape the man he was to become. The year is 1251, and a major shift happens in the Mongol Empire. Kublai's older brother, Mungke, is elected Great Khan. This is a turning point for Kublai. Mungke, recognizing his brother's talents and interest in Chinese affairs, entrusts him with the administration of Mongol-held territories in northern China. This wasn't just a desk job. It was Kublai's first real test as a ruler. He surrounded himself with Chinese advisors, promoted agriculture, and established a more stable and just system of governance. He even created his own capital in the north, called Xanadu, a name that would later become legendary in the West. This period was Kublai's apprenticeship, where he learned firsthand how to govern a vast and complex agricultural society, a skill that would prove essential for his future ambitions. By 1253, Kublai's focus shifted from administration to conquest. Under his brother Mungke Khan's orders, he launched a major military campaign to subdue the Dali kingdom, located in modern-day Yunnan province. This was a strategic move designed to outflank the formidable Song dynasty from the southwest. Unlike many Mongol campaigns that were known for their brutality, Kublai's conquest of Dali was remarkably lenient. He ordered his generals to spare the population and even retained the ruling family as local administrators. This approach showcased Kublai's unique political wisdom. He understood that winning hearts and minds was just as important as winning battles, a philosophy that set him apart from many of his Mongol contemporaries and hinted at the kind of emperor he would one day become. Tragedy and opportunity struck in 1259. While campaigning against the southern Song dynasty, the great Khan Mungke died suddenly, likely from disease. His death threw the entire Mongol Empire into chaos. A succession crisis erupted. Kublai, who was still on the front lines in China, had to act fast. His younger brother, Arik-Boke, was in the Mongol heartland of Karakorum and quickly moved to claim the title of Great Khan. But Kublai had his own supporters and a powerful army at his back. In 1260, in his own city of Kaiping, Kublai held his own Kurultai, or Great Assembly, and had himself proclaimed the new Great Khan. This act split the empire in two, sparking a brutal civil war between the two brothers. The Toluid Civil War raged for 4 long years. It was a bitter struggle that pitted brother against brother, Mongol against Mongol. Arik-Boke controlled the traditional Mongol homeland and had the support of the conservative nomadic aristocracy. Kublai, on the other hand, drew his strength from his base in northern China, relying on its vast resources and manpower. This conflict was more than just a power struggle. It was a battle over the very soul of the Mongol Empire. Would it remain a nomadic steppe empire, or would it transform into something new? Finally, in 1264, weakened by a blockade that cut off his supplies from China, Arik-Boke surrendered to Kublai. Kublai Khan was now the undisputed, though contested ruler of the Mongol world. With the Civil War won, Kublai could finally focus on his ultimate prize, the complete conquest of China. The southern Song dynasty, though weakened, was still a formidable opponent. They had wealth, a massive population, and advanced technology, including powerful naval forces and early forms of firearms. For Kublai, this was the final step in fulfilling the destiny his grandfather Genghis Khan had envisioned. In 1268, he launched his definitive campaign, focusing on the strategic twin cities of Xiangyang and Fancheng on the Han River. Capturing them was the key to opening the gateway to the rest of southern China. The siege of Xiangyang would become one of the longest and most difficult in world history. The siege of Xiangyang lasted for a grueling 5 years. It was a testament to both the stubborn resistance of the Song defenders and the relentless determination of Kublai's forces. The Mongols brought in the best engineers from across their empire, including Persians who were masters of siege warfare. They constructed massive counterweight trebuchets, a new and terrifying technology for the Song, capable of hurling huge boulders that could smash city walls. Finally, in 1273, the city of Xiangyang fell. The psychological blow to the Song was immense. The path south was now open, and the Mongol armies, led by Kublai's brilliant general Bayan, began to sweep through the rest of the dynasty's territory. Following the fall of Xiangyang, the Mongol advance was swift. In 1276, Kublai's army captured the southern Song capital, Lin'an, which is modern-day Hangzhou. The child emperor and the empress dowager were taken captive and brought north to Kublai's court, where they were treated with respect. However, loyalist remnants of the Song court fled south by sea, continuing their resistance for 3 more years. The final, decisive battle took place in 1279 at the Battle of Yamen, a massive naval confrontation off the coast of modern Guangdong. The Mongol fleet, despite being less experienced, overwhelmed the Song navy. In a tragic end, a high-ranking Song official took the young boy emperor in his arms and leaped into the sea, choosing death over surrender. With this act, the Song dynasty was extinguished. For the first time in over 300 years, all of China was unified under a single ruler, and that ruler was a Mongol, Kublai Khan. Having conquered all of China, Kublai Khan proclaimed the founding of a new dynasty in 1271, even before the final Song defeat. He named it the Yuan dynasty, a name taken from the ancient Chinese classic, the I Ching, meaning great origin. This was a masterful political move. By adopting a Chinese-style dynastic name, he signaled that he was not just a foreign conqueror, but the legitimate successor to the Chinese emperors of the past, claiming the mandate of heaven. He established his grand capital at Dadu, meaning great capital, on the site of modern-day Beijing. Dadu became the political, economic, and cultural center of his vast empire, a cosmopolitan metropolis where merchants, envoys, and travelers from all corners of the world, including a certain Venetian named Marco Polo, would gather. Kublai Khan's reign was a period of relative stability and economic prosperity, known as the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace. He implemented many policies that benefited his multicultural empire. He established a system of paper money that was used empire-wide, promoted trade along the Silk Road, and built a network of canals, roads, and postal stations that connected his vast domain. He was also a patron of the arts and sciences, supporting advancements in astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. However, his rule was not without its challenges. He maintained a strict social hierarchy that placed Mongols at the top, followed by other non-Han peoples, and then the northern and southern Chinese at the bottom. This created underlying ethnic tensions that would persist throughout the Yuan dynasty. Despite his incredible successes, Kublai's later years were marked by costly and ultimately failed military campaigns. Driven by a desire to expand his empire even further, he launched 2 massive naval invasions of Japan in 1274 and 1281. Both times, his fleets were devastated by powerful typhoons, which the Japanese would later call kamikaze, or divine winds. He also sent expeditions to invade Vietnam and Java, but these campaigns became bogged down in jungle warfare and tropical diseases, ending in humiliating defeats. These failed invasions were a huge drain on the empire's treasury and manpower, and they tarnished the image of Mongol invincibility. The final years of Kublai Khan's life were filled with personal tragedy, and declining health. The death of his favorite wife, Chabi, in 1281 was a devastating blow. A few years later, his chosen heir, his son Genjin, also passed away. These losses sent Kublai into a deep depression. He increasingly turned to food and drink for comfort, leading to severe obesity and gout. His grip on the empire began to loosen, and his health rapidly deteriorated. On February 18, 1294, at the age of 78, the great Kublai Khan died in his capital of Dadu. He was succeeded by his grandson, Temur Khan, who inherited a vast but troubled empire. Kublai Khan's legacy is complex and monumental. He was a conqueror who unified China, a foreign ruler who embraced and adapted Chinese culture, and an emperor whose court at Xanadu and Dadu became legendary. He presided over a multicultural empire that fostered unprecedented contact between East and West. While his dynasty, the Yuan, would last less than a century after his death, his impact on the course of Chinese and world history is undeniable. He was a bridge between two worlds, the nomadic horseman of the steppe and the sophisticated society of imperial China, and in doing so, he forged an empire unlike any the world had ever seen. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the life of Kublai Khan. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more fascinating stories from history, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.